Hi, thank you so much for joining in. And yes, this is our Dandanaka series, edition 7. And I'm so grateful that we have come this far, and it's all because of you. So, a big thanks to you all. Before I start, I would like to put my mobile in silent because sometimes we do get disturbed by calls. So, yes, done. So I'm happy Vijayadashami to you all, and I'm sure that the 9 days of Navratri would have been fabulous. We had kept our first golu and had so much fun inviting friends over for Vetlapak, Haldi Kunkum, whatever you may call it, and we had a blast. So I'm very glad, which is why. um I mean, which is why we were not able to do our Dandanaka series on the first Saturday of this month, that is on the October 5th, I guess. But there was a better option this time because Vijayadashami is the day where we always start new things, new lessons, new party, new dance, anything, because it is supposed to be very auspicious day to start off something that is nice. So our Dandanaka series this month, we thought we will start on that day. So Saturday we didn't want to do, and that is why I'm here today on Vijayadashmi Day to tell you all the story of the fire of knowledge. So before I begin, Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambam Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. With a big prayer to Goddess Saraswati, who helps thriving the art forms, I start this story today. In the Brahmaloka, Brahma was very happy. பூப்பூக்கும் ஓசை அது கேட்கத்தான் ஆசை புல்விரியும் ஓசை அது கேட்கத்தான் ஆசை. He just wanted to listen to the sound of the flower blooming, to the sound of the grasses coming out of the soil. But what to do? He had the power to create things, and he had created everything, but there was no structure to his creation. Everything was cluttered, everything was so chaotic, and he didn't know what to do. There was earth, there was flowers. I mean, there were flowers, there were grasses, there were animals, there were human beings, but everything was just there, just like how you go to a new house, shift to a new house, and you keep all the boxes here and there. Everything was there, but it didn't look neat. And Brahma didn't know what to do. After all, he's the creator. And so he decided to create somebody who could help him, assist him in making the chaos beautiful. And that is when they say Saraswati came out of him. Now, there are two theories here. Some say that Saraswati was born out of Brahma's mind, or to be more, what do I say? Um, some say instead of mind, they say forehead, but others say she came out of Brahma's mouth. But however, Saraswati was created at that point, and she gave Brahma the wisdom to make the things that he had created in a proper structural format. Yes, every man needs a woman to bring balance to his life. And that's exactly what Brahma did too. So Saraswati was the one who looked at all the beautiful things that Brahma had created, and made things place in order. The stars went up to the sky, and the sky with the stars were called the heavens. The sea and the oceans were pushed beneath the sky, and the lords or the devas were placed in the heavens. The demons were asked to rule the nether worlds, and in between were the mortals or the human beings. Everything fell in order. Everything started to look beautiful. Everything started to have energy in them. The energy that Saraswati brought, the wisdom that she is, gave everything a proper structure. And that is how they say this whole universe fell in place. Everything started to have life in them. The sun rose and set. The moon waxed and waned. The seas, the waves of the seas went up and down. And the flowers started blooming and the grass started coming out. Seeds germinated and everything fell in order. பூப்பூக்கும் ஓசை அதை கேட்கத்தான் ஆசை புல்விரியும் ஓசை அதை கேட்கத்தான் ஆசை the cuckoo of the birds பட்சிகளின் குக்கு the tring of the insects பூச்சிகளின் tring everything Brahma was able to hear now. He felt very happy about his creation and very proud of Saraswati. And Saraswati said, knowledge gives form to chaos. Knowledge gives structure to all the difficult things that lies around. How true, right? And then Lord Brahma became the creator and Saraswati the wisdom behind the creation. So that is how they say Saraswati came into being, or she was created for such a divine purpose. Now, she was the one who was filled with wisdom and knowledge. There was a time, very long time ago, when the gods, the demons, and the human beings interacted with one another very frequently. Can you believe a time like that? Of course, it existed long time ago. And now, that is when human beings, special human beings, were created to make or establish the connect between the divine and the mortals. And they were called the sages or the rishis and the munis who had these powers to travel between heaven and earth at their whims and fancies. And they were given the responsibility of connecting, of creating a channel between the heaven and the earth so that they could communicate the knowledge that was there in the heaven to the earth. And so the rishis and the sages, they say, started to pray to Lord Vishnu to help them get the knowledge that was there in the heavens to the mortals, the human beings, so that they could understand the whole essence of life itself. What do we do? The rishis were in a fix. Of course, we could ask help from Vishnu. And when they did that, Vishnu turned his head towards Brahma, the creator of the universe and the possessor of the knowledge, or should I say, the person who created Saraswati herself. Brahma agreed to give the knowledge. But in what form? In what form should we give them the knowledge? And that was when the rishis and the munis they suggested that if there has to be a if there has to be a medium in which the knowledge can be shared, a channel that can be created to make the knowledge transferable from heaven to earth, then it could be none other or nothing other than fire. Let it be fire. Please give us the fire of knowledge, they said. Why fire? Because fire is something which is not static or stagnant, which can, just like knowledge is not stagnant. A fire is something which cannot be kept inside some, which cannot be kept enclosed inside, just like how knowledge cannot be kept enclosed inside. If you do that, the fire burns out and the knowledge goes without the purpose of why it has to be existing in the first place. Knowledge is there to share. But when the knowledge is being kept under something, it it is not there anymore, just like the fire which extinguishes and fire burns, just like how Knowledge burns the ignorance in man's mind or anybody else's mind. So they chose that it would be fire that would become the channel that brings the knowledge from the heavens to the earth. And the rishis and the munis were very happy about getting the fire of knowledge. But how? Vishnu had put it across to Brahma. And Brahma was sitting there thinking, okay, let me give the form to all the knowledge that is there in the heavens. And came out the fire. The fire, which was very, 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 very huge, huge in the sense, which was very hot and it cannot be contained because if it was left like that, it was giving the threat to destroy all the three worlds. Now, if this fire has to be transferred from the heavens to the earth, who could that person be? They looked around. Nobody was ready to go near that fire of knowledge. They had to give it a name. And what a beautiful name that they gave that fire of knowledge. It was called Bhadagni. The Bhadagni was taken, and Brahma was looking at all the gods there. Nobody came forward to take that fire and give it to the rishis and the munis that were waiting to give it or transfer it to the human beings, to the mortals in the earth. And then Brahma decided who will be the right person to carry it. Of course, who else other than Saraswati? She is the wisdom that made me, help me create this whole universe. She will be the person to carry this fire of knowledge. When he looked at Saraswati and asked, she agreed instantly. She said, of course, I can do it for you. But how? This fire seems to be really hot. If I'll have to carry such a fire in my hand and go and give it to the sages, then I should take a different form. Which form shall I take? Something that could bear the heat of this fire. It has to be fluid because I'll have to travel really quick. Sages and the rishis and the munis are all waiting. I should be fluid. I should be really quick. Water it is. Water it will be, she decided. And she took the form of water and she took the fire in her hand, the fire of knowledge or the Badagni, and started going from heavens to earth. Such with such force she had to go because the heat in the fire was evaporating the fluid that she was. She didn't have much time. The people are waiting there, and there is a huge responsibility lying on her shoulders. She was given the task of taking the Bharagni and giving it to the rishis and the munis so that the people, the mortals, will be benefited by the knowledge. She can't wait. She rushed with full utmost force and speed. Her body was burning, but she decided to take up the heat just so that the fire of knowledge could be delivered to us. And there she gushed from the heavens and flowed right into the glaciers of the Himalayas, handing over the fire of knowledge or the Badagni to the sages and the rishis, and at the same time cooling her body, the body that was heated by the fire, cooling it by flowing down from the glaciers right down into the ocean. They say Saraswati originated from the Himalayas and the glaciers, but Saraswati, the river, is also considered to be Saraswati, the deity herself. They say that is the only river which flows through the three worlds, starting from heaven, comes down to the earth, and she even went underneath. Thousands of years later, they say Saraswati evaporated. And today, we don't have Saraswati running anywhere. But there is a place in Allahabad they call the Triveni Sangamam, where the three rivers, important rivers, the Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati merge. But where does Saraswati come from? They say she flows underworld. And how is that possible? Thousands of years, lots of changes over the topography. If you go and find in the northwestern part of India, They say that it is filled with fissures that was caused because of earthquakes. And people predict, the researchers predict that because of all this, the river could have seeped underground. And there are even instances of Saraswati River underground, flowing underground. The satellite images say that. And you know what is another interesting fact in this? People believe that the water from Saraswati River is always warm. And why do you think it is like? Because of the fire that she carried to bring the fire of knowledge to the human race. Now, there are various theories as to why Saraswati went underwater. Some mythology stories state differently. I'm not going to go to the depths of that, but what I would like to tell you all, share with you all today is Saraswati, the wisdom that Brahma created to make him understand order and structure, was the goddess who brought the fire of knowledge that existed in the heavens to the earth so that we mortals may get at least a small bit of what has to get inside us so that we could live this life to its full essence. Now, maybe that is why I think we consider Saraswati to be the goddess of learning and knowledge. And this Vijayadashami day, we pray to the goddess, praying, asking her to give us the best of knowledge, take away the ignorance with the fire that she brought to mankind, and give us, shed us the light of knowledge. Who better, who else do you think we can pray to? Yesterday was Saraswati Puja, where we keep all the books and get ready for the next day, the Vijayadashami, the next day, where we pray to the goddess, seeking her blessing and start everything afresh so that she gives us the light for us to move forward in this life. What a beautiful story, right? And when I was looking up for stories, mythology stories, and unknown stories of Saraswati, I found many, but there are some um, which needs to be researched more and only then shared. Maybe I will do that later for you all because I cannot be just relying on what is there on the internet and tell you just like that. Since I'm a storyteller here and I'm telling you some important information, I need to be responsible enough to tell you that yes, I found this and this is what is there. But there is always a disclaimer. You always can go back and see if there is anything more to this or less to this. And if you find anything more to this, please do let me know because I would like to shed my ignorance too and light up the knowledge that I have. So that I, as a storyteller, when I'm going and telling all these things to other people, I will be delivering to them the best thing that I know. Now, that is one story, but there was a very different, unique story that I found. Everybody would have heard of Avvayar, right? Tamil people would have heard of Avvayar. Now, Avvayar was a Tamil poetess who lived during the Chola period, and she was considered to be a very great poetess. I have seen. What do I call the movie that was made very very long time ago, and it's such a lovely movie where KP Sundarambal becomes aware, and my God, it has got some fabulous mind blowing songs in the movie. And I know the story of Avayar like that, but today what I found was something very different. I'm not sure how true this is, but I would like to share that with you as well. They say when Saraswati and Brahma were sitting in Brahmaloka, and Brahma was very busy doing all his work and in the work of creation, and Saraswati was playing her veena, and she was feeling very ignored that Brahma was not paying enough attention to him. And they say it was then she suddenly had this desire of becoming a mortal, and she wanted to go and explore life as a mortal. So she playfully asks Brahma, now, how do you think the mortal's life is? And he says, it has got its own ups and downs. Why do you ask? I would like to explore my life as a mortal, is what she says. And Brahma just grants it without even thinking. And only after that he realizes, how will he be there without the wisdom next to him? And Saraswati says, now that you have granted my wish, I will have to go down and live my life as a mortal. Please let me. And so Saraswati goes, and they say it is Avvayar that is born as Saraswati, that was born as Avvayar, and she grew. She's growing up in a family of merchants, and they adore her. And the Avvayar story everybody knows. She becomes a great poetess because she says that she doesn't want to get married, and she takes Tamil as her life, and she gives a lot to the society. She goes and teaches people good things in life through her poems and everything else. But then Brahma starts to misses her in Brahmaloka or Satyaloka. And now, what do I do without my wife here? And that is when they say he seeks the help of Kartikeya, Muruga, and he calls Kartikeya and he says, you know what? My wife, she had this desire to live her life as a mortal, and I had granted her that wish by mistake. But now I'm sitting here in Satyaloka not knowing what to do. Can you please go and call her Kartikeya? But somehow, okay, she should not understand that it is I who sent you there so that you could get back my wife here next to me. See what to do? Huh? Male ego is there everywhere, I guess. And Kartikeya goes down, and now they say Avai is very, 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 very. I mean, she's very proud of her Tamil Pulamai. I don't know what you say for Pulamai in English. And she's very, very proud. And so he decides, Brahma decides that if I'm going to make her understand that she's not the one who knows everything, she still has so much to learn, then probably she would come back to me. And that is when Kartikeya comes as a shepherd. He sits on top of a tree where Avai comes down walking, and she feels very thirsty. And there they see this jamun tree. Avai looks at the jamun tree, and she sees Kartikeya sitting there. She does not know it is Kartikeya. And so she says, little boy, can you please throw some jamun to me? And he asks, do you need hot jamuns or cold jamuns, Pati or Ajji? And she says, is there any hot jamun or cold jamun? Are you making fun of me? And when he throws down the plant, when he shakes the tree, the fruit falls down, and the fruit gets smashed little when it is falling down, and there is mud which is stuck to the fruit. And so Avai picks up a fruit and blows it, and that is when Kartikeya, or the shepherd boy, asks, Avai, you told me that there is nothing called a hot fruit or a cold fruit, but looks like the fruit that you picked is hot, which is why you're blowing on it to make it cold. And that is when Avai realizes that she has been very ignorant. She has had the pride of knowledge. And slowly, Avai asks, I know you are not a simple person. Reveal to me your true nature. And Kartikeya reveals himself as Muruga and tells Avai, now it is time for you to leave this life of yours and come and be one with us. And that is when they say Avai leaves her human form and goes to the heaven. But and then Brahma becomes happy and everything else happens because Saraswati has come back. But I'm not sure how true this is. How true is the story that it is Saraswati who came to the earth as a mortal, as Avayar, and gave everything to us. Now, what is I like the story because there is a beautiful connect, and I really love the cuteness in the story. But I leave it to you. This, I'm sure, is going to create a spark in your minds, and so go back and research on this, and let me know if you find more. Yeah. I also like this because it is Avayar who gave us the Aatichudi, and in Tamil we have this A A I I, that is the alphabets that we write first, and her Aatichudi also has everything that has the first letter of the alphabets. அறம் செய்ய விரும்பு, ஆறுவது சினம், இயல்வது கரவேல், ஈவது விளக்கேல், உடையது விளம்பேல், ஊக்கமது கைவிடேல், என் எழுத்து நிகரேல், ஏற்பது இகழ்ச்சி, ஐயமிட்டு உன், ஒப்புரவு ஒழுகேல், ஒவ்வியம் பேசேல், all this. So, was written by Avyar. So now if I'm connecting it, so probably it was Saraswati Devi herself who came down and gave us this. Now, there is also another thing. There are three Avayars, they say, or more than three Avayars, because Avvai is a name which is given to a very old lady as a mark. You call them as a mark of respect. So there are a lot of clashes in this story, but the cuteness in the story was so good that I thought I should share the story with you all and give you the job of going and doing some research on this. Please go and do. But whatever, however, Saraswati is the person who has given us, the goddess who has given us the knowledge, and let us be grateful to all the knowledge that she has showered upon us, and use that fire of knowledge and try to take away the ignorance in our mind and lead a very, very happy life. Happy Dashra to you all again. Happy Vijayadashami. So have fun, and I'm hoping that you like the stories that I shared today. And we'll come back next week with our Endra Ondra Kada series in Tamil. So thank you so much. Tata bye bye. With a nice small Saraswati song, I would like to sign off. जगदम्बे भगवती मयूरवाहिनी त्रिजगपुरे विमलहासे विश्वमोहिनी जगदम्बे भगवती मयूरवाहिनी त्रिजगपुरे विमलहासे विश्वमोहिनी वाणी सर्पवेणी सुकल्याणि शारदे गीर्वाणि ब्रह्मराणि देवि शारदे जगदम्बे भगवती मयूरवाहिनी त्रिजगपुरे विमलहासे विश्वमोहिनी. Thank you so much for watching. We'll come back soon. Till then, tata bye bye from Lavanya Prasad. If you really liked what we shared today, please consider subscribing to our channel, and also let your friends and relatives know that we come live every first and the second Saturday of every month and tell stories to all the people all over the world. So thank you so much, guys. Without you, there is no storyteller. A storyteller is nobody without an audience. So a big thanks once again. Very, very happy Vijayadashami to you all. Ta ta.